Nürburgring is the only F1 track to have hosted 3 different races: the German Grand Prix, European Grand Prix and Luxembourg Grand Prix. Hello to everyone here and welcome, and a special shout out to our VIP guests, Lars Hammer and Arthur Jackman, affectionately known as the Jackhammer.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to SFR for round number 3 in the championship. Last time out, we were at the Austrian Grand Prix where Mackett took his first victory since 4 years ago, and he's back at the top. He's currently second in championship so far, with Laser still out on top then, only by 5 points. So here we are at the Hungary, first introduced since 1986, and hopefully we can see a good race. You can see the clouds gathering in, so could that indicate a bit of rain later on in the session? Who knows? But let's have a look then. Not a mad dash at the pit lane, it seems, so I don't think there'll be any rain, because usually if there is rain we see a lot more drivers out on the circuit and try to set lap times. But somebody's off the circuit already. Who's that? That's an AlphaTauri who's just gone straight off. That's Atlas. So he's just gone straight off. He forgot to turn left, and unfortunately he's out of the session. JDM, fashionably late, is here. So 20 drivers, well, not 20 drivers, 19 drivers will be taking part in qualifying. One of them on the sidelines due to crash at turn 2. I don't know if he had a qualifying ban or not, but if he didn't, well, he's starting last place. And starting last around Hungary, well, good luck getting your way through, because it's so difficult to overtake around here. It's a high downforce circuit, so big DRS trains around here too. We'll commonly see that, but we'll see who the first driver on the circuit is, which is the Haas man of Tycoon, and let's see what he could do in the Haas then around here. And Atlas has left the session, so hopefully he can join back. Hopefully he hasn't quit out of the race already at the beginning of qualifying. So here he is coming around the final corner as he will continue, also take his way through the flying lap around here at the 4.3 kilometer circuit as we approach downhill into turn number 1. Then let's see how he takes it going down into turn 1, into second gear, then up to third immediately. DRS enabled the exit of turn 1. I think there is one detection point for 2 DRS zones, like it is in Mexico, so you've got to really set up how you overtake each other as we head down into turn 2. Now flat out through turn number 3, should have no problems here whatsoever, but it can be quite difficult in the race because you have carrying a lot of fuel in dirty air, and it's very easy to spin out here too. And going through turn number 5, then this right-hander, very easy to spin out on the curve on the entry into this slow chicane we go. Really careful how you navigate the chicane, which he does really nicely as we head into turn number 8 and turn number 9. Slow speed corners. You want to just carry the throttle as much as you can, carry the minimum speed. I think somebody spun out at turn 4. I think, who is that? Is that Alpine or Williams, or are they on their outlaps? Well, I'm not quite sure. But 20 drivers. It's nice to see the attendance once again around here in SFR as we head through turn number 13. 14 corners on the circuit, but 14 corners around here can be very difficult, especially in the middle sector. So here he is then, Tycoon, right in the final corner as he'll set a 17.2, and let's see if anybody out there can beat that. We've got some more across the line soon, as majority of them are on their flying laps around here, as I'll get the thing working. There we are then. So let's see. Mackett has slowed down. I'm not quite sure if he was the one that spun coming out of turn number 4. We did see an Alpine stationary at that particular part of the track, as AJ goes about 9/10 quicker than Tycoon in P2. As Atlas has joined the session, thankfully, so whatever problems he's had, hopefully they disappeared. Beremi, top of the timing sheets with a 15.5, as we've got the next one to cross the line now with Mackett with a 38.6, so I presume he made a mistake on our lap time, as Samu puts his Alfa Romeo into P3 with a 17.0, as Rogue Smithy into P2. Great qualifying at the Austrian Grand Prix, but unfortunately he couldn't convert it into a decent race result, as he did, I think, crash out somewhere. I'm not quite sure if he did crash out or not, as his teammate slots into P3. Now MDJ finished at P2 last season behind Hazara, who raced as well, and TNR AJ qualifies 4th ahead of Xenomon 5, emails in P7 ahead of Shaggy P in P9 there, as we've got more drivers about to take to the line as well. Alex Haug in the middle sector with a 55.4. This track is very easy to validate around here. Turn number 4, especially that high speed left-hander, and if you go out wide slightly you will invalidate, of course. And the whole track is difficult in general, in my opinion, as Ramovaj goes quickest with a 15.4, so nice to see him return. I think Ramovaj, judging by memory, did he take pole last season? I'm not quite sure. He was up there, but I'm not quite sure if he chose the wrong strategy in that race. I think he was the one that went soft to hards, and unfortunately it didn't work out. I think he did a 2-stop actually, as Mackett on his second attempt goes into P5 with a 16.2 then, so manages to get a lap time on the board considering what happened to him. I think he for sure spun out coming out of turn 4, so looks like he had some life left in those tyres to carry on. Good evening, mate. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing alright. So there is your initial laps then, and our main contenders are still in the pit lane. We've got JDM out there on the medium compound tyres. It's quite common for JDM to do this, you know. In the last few qualified sessions we've had, he's always out there flying around on those medium compound tyres, so he sacrifices certain mediums all the time. For me, I like to have 2 sets of mediums at my disposal just in case there's a safety car midway through the race, because some people go from hard, medium, depending if there is an early safety car. But here we are on board with the McLaren driver, was in the Alpha Tauri last season, now converted to the championship winning car as McLaren won the Constructors last season. So here he is out of turn 2, heading into turn number 3 now. In fact, that's turn 1, don't even know what I'm saying. But here it is then into turn number 2, carries it through third gear very nicely in this flat out turn 3. How much risk is he willing to take on those medium compound tyres, because they're not a qualified tyre really unless you get really in the zone, but unfortunately he's out wide at turn number 4, so he has to back out, and well, let's see if he continues on those medium compound tyres. Hurricane goes into P8 with a 16.9, not the usual pace we'll see from Hurricane, but looks like he's pushed again, so let's see what he does on his third attempt on these set of soft compound tyres. Maybe, look at that, 6/10 up in the first sector, so maybe just get a feel for the track. Out of turn 4 now in these slow speed chicanes, breaking the 50-metre board, clipping these apexes through. You don't really want to ride the curb because you will spin out of there as Logan Sargent fouled out back at the 2023 Hungary Grand Prix. And let's see the little sector how he does as he flicks through this right hand. A slight lift off on the entry. It's a 53.7. He's 1 second up already in the middle sector. So that first lap, those first 2 lap times were probably exploratory lap times, just exploring the track, see how the grip is. But here he is on the third set, or on the third lap on the same set of soft compound tyres. It's not really common to do that around in qualifying, but here he is around the final corner. What's Hurricane going to set? With a 50.3. Impeccable pace, considering his tyres are 3 laps old, including his in-laps and out-laps as well. BME, third place, does 3 laps. So I think some people are saving a set of soft compound tyres later on in the race just in case of a safety car, or maybe the weather, who knows, as Glock goes quickest with a 50.2. Great job from the Mercedes driver there. But we all know Hurricane, BME, Laser, Samid have got a lot of pace at their disposal, so let's see if those drivers will take advantage of pole position. Hola Burmeister. Burmeister, where are you, mate? Well, how come you're not racing? And here's Martin flying through into turn 4, now going through these slow speed corners. It's really difficult, these slow speed corners. If you take too much curb, the back of the car will step out of you as we head through this left right hand sequence as you take it through 4th gear, just carrying the minimum speed, then lean it out on the curb on the outside as we flick through this right hand. There we go. Very easy to validate and go out wide. It's a 54.1, expected a sub 15 by the end of the session. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe a 14, a high 14. Who knows? My prediction: a 14.9. I'm gonna go with that one. Make a bet on it. But here we are with Martin, the Mercedes driver, who missed out on the podium, unfortunately, back at the Austrian Grand Prix. I believe he picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. As he crosses the line, he goes into P7 with a 15.9. So 2 more drivers yet to set a lap time, but one of them, of course, can't do so after crashed out at turn 2. Here is Laser, our championship leader and our champion, our defending champion from last season, going into turn number 2, then starting his first flying lap as we head through turn number 3. And now we climb up towards turn number 4. This blind left-hander carrying a lot of speed through here, and you want to use all the track you get away with too, without validating, of course. Getting close to that curb, but you don't really want to touch it. It's like Spain at turn number 13, I believe. And here he is coming through the chicane. Look at that, the momentum, the rhythm he carried through there, absolutely amazing. The car looks like he's sticking with it, as obviously he wanted a high downforce setup here, not a low downforce setup, because this track very difficult, very technical, very twisty indeed. It's a 53.6 in the middle sector for Laser as he continues down into turn number 12 then, and turn 13. This can be a difficult corner, you know, because you arrive there with with a lot of with a lot of speed, but the back of the car could step out due to the tyres overheating. And here he is coming out of the final corner. Let's see what lap time he can set. And it's going to be a 50.2. He misses pole by about 7 thousandths of a second. Incredible margins around here in Hungary. In the meantime, Samid puts his Alpine into P5. Great lap time for him as well in the Alpine. But let's see who else is out there setting blistering lap times. We've got Tycoon once again on his second lap. So as he climbs up towards the end of the first sector, his first split is 300s up. Hopefully he can find more time in the middle and last sector. And here he is, they're coming through turn number 4. And here we are into turn 5 and turn 6. Taking it very cautiously through there as well, just short shifted to minimise the wheel spin on the exit, gaining traction. As we make our way now into the right-hander for Tycoon, a bit of hesitation and more oversteer, and unfortunately he has invalidated his lap time then, but plenty of time left to go in the session then, so hopefully it won't be too much of a big issue for him. JDM on the soft compound tyres now, he's completing or starting another lap. And let's see what he could do in the McLaren then. JDM usually have good qualifying, but unfortunately doesn't go well in the race, so let's hope for his sake things turn out well for him in the race coming up in about a few minutes time as we head through turn number 3. Now up towards the end of the first sector, his first split, already a 10th up. I think his best lap time is on the medium compound tyres, yes it is, so he best be hoping that he finds more time on the softs than the mediums as he makes his way towards that slow speed chicane. It can be very difficult if you take too much curb there. And you can see the back of the car just stepping out a bit as we head through turn 7 and turn number 8 for him. Majority drive. Oh, there's a crash. That's a Williams. Is that Rogue Smithy? No, it's not. It's MDJ. MDJ has crashed out of turn number 8. Sorry, Rogue Smithy. I just assumed it was you for some reason. But unfortunately for MDJ, on his flying lap, he has put it in the wall. And back on board with JDM then to see what lap time he could set. So MDJ currently sat in P11. Luckily hasn't lost a wheel and kept his car intact to go for more qualifying runs. JDM puts his car into P12 as Burmeister says in the chat. He is taking a break. It's quite, or Sam is invalidated, but it doesn't really matter because he's on his in lap, I think. He's just completed a lap on the set of softs that are 3 laps old. So it's quite interesting to see the game plan, the run plans for everybody around here, because some people are just doing 1 lap, back in the pit lane, another lap, just every time they do a lap, go back to the pit lane and put a brand new set of softs on. But Ferrari is missing his wings, so I wonder why he's done that. In the first sector, probably spun out of turn number 3, that's another place he's easily done. But yeah, people are doing consistent lap times, like Samid, Harry Kane, Emails as well, the driver on board with in P16, Bear Remy too. It's not my type of tactic I would go for because the more laps you do, obviously the tyre gets older and very easy to lose the car as well with the tyres losing grip on the back end. But we'll wait to see what Harry Kane could do on a brand new set of softs with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. So Harry Kane is saving a set of softs as Martin there, a bit wobbly coming out of that chicane right there. But hopefully hasn't compromised him a bit too much as the majority of drivers are in the pit lane. Oh, it takes the curb as well on the outside. Not really see many people do that. And it's a 54.0 in the middle sector for the Mercedes driver as he comes into turn number 12. And now through turn 13 we go. This left-hander which can catch people out. The tyres are at his best and he's in the pit lane. So he doesn't believe that his lap time is good enough. He believes that he can find more time in that Mercedes. And Zeno in the middle sector there has set a purple sector too, as he's the only driver out there on the circuit so far, majority of them in the pit lane, as we see the Aston Martin coming out of the penultimate corner. As we see into the final corner we go. What lap time can he set in the Aston Martin? Can he get himself inside that top 10? Just outside of it, it's 11th place for Zeno. He just gets ahead of MDJ, but just behind Martin too. That's how close these times are. So, with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go on the clock, Glock is still on pole position. He was on pole for majority of qualifying back in Austria, but Maki took it away and went on to win the race as well on those old hard compound tyres. Can Glock keep pole position, or can anybody try and take it away from him? The likes of Laser, Harry Kane, Mamavac, anybody could take it away. They've all got good pace out here in Hungary. Glock still searching for his first race win of the season too. He took a long time. I believe he won back at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Unfortunately, I missed that. I think he did win, or MDJ was kidding. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, Glock has had a lot of podiums. He knows what it feels like to be on the podium quite a lot this season. But unfortunately, the results don't go his way. Back in Austria as well, he could have had a shot at winning the Grand Prix, but the lap cars with the yellow flags caused him to get an illegal overtake, therefore had to drop back and cost him a win and a podium and some good valuable points too, as he's another one I think who's going for the championship this season for sure with his mighty pace. As we see him then tiptoeing his way around the track, trying to get the tyre temperatures in the right window. Usually you want to be about 90 degrees, but there's a bit of marbles on the outside there. He would love to clear them before he starts a lap time. Here we are, 4.3 kilometres, 1 minute and 55 seconds left to go. On board with Glock as we head down into turn number 1 and break into the 100 metre board. Very nice turn in there, but the back of the car wants to step out of him. Now he has the option to back out of this lap or continue because he's only the first corner. The life of those tyres haven't been taken out too much. As we head through turn number 3 then, what will he choose to do? How much will he be up or down in the first sector? Is it going to be 600s down in the first sector? Can still find time in the middle and last sector, depending if he wants to continue or not. But the pressure being ramped up now, it's very easy to make mistakes under huge pressure, especially when you're down in the first sector, as you want to go that extra bit quicker to make up the deficit you lost in the first sector. The first corner really did hurt him as well. And now as we flick through this middle sector into the right-hander we go, slight lift off, back on the throttle immediately. It's a 53.7, he's found a bit of time, but unfortunately not enough to improve on his lap time. Slightly misses the apex at turn number 12 as we head down into turn 13. Glock absolutely pushing the limits of that Mercedes car as he gets out of turn 13. Took an unusual line into turn 32 as we head now into this final corner we go. Has Glock improved? Can he try and raise them? Oh no, he can't. It's a 15.2. That's a quite odd line towards the line there, but unfortunately qualifying is done and dusted for Glock. Has he got enough time to go for his last lap? Laser 1/10 up in the first sector, or 100s up as well. Can he keep this momentum going as he takes that wide angle coming out of turn 4? Now into the slow speed chicanes we go. Very nice indeed. The McLaren looks like it's very stable, very grippy as well on rails as he can flick it through any corner he wants to without the back of the car stepping out of him. It's this left-hander. Now into the right-hander we go. A slight lift off, dab on the brake. Let's see his first sector. Middle sector is 1/10 up. This is looking good so far for Laser. Can he keep it up though? As he uses the outside curb as well to turn in. I don't really use the outside curb because it unsettles the back of the car, but some people can take it depending if they've got the setup and confidence to do so. Here we are with Laser coming towards the final corner. Can he snatch pole away from Glock? Can he cross the line now? Yes he can! It's a 14.9 for Laser as he's the first driver in the 14s. Can anybody match him? Sammy can't. He's in P5, Martin P10, Xenon in P11, and let's await the others, shall we? Hurricane a few hundreds up in the first sector as he goes through that slow speed chicane. There's an AlphaTauri. It looks like he's spun coming out of turn number 3, so his lap time and qualifying is over prematurely. But now we make our way through this twisty middle sector we go into the right-hander. Bear Remy goes up into P3. Hurricane is almost 3/10 up, but he needs to find a bit more time in this last sector if he wants to take pole away. And this is shaping up to be a good lap time from Hurricane as we make our way now into this right-hander we go. AJ has retired from the session as we make our way now into the final corner. Is this going to be pole for the Norwegian driver coming up towards the final corner? Now heading towards the line. Is it pole? No, it starts at 15.0 as he slots into second place on the front row behind Laser Lord. Ramavaj goes into P3. Very good qualifying indeed from him as Rogue Smithy has out-qualified his teammate and puts the Williams into P9. Williams sharing the 5th row of the grid, but great qualifying. As Glock is absolutely frustrated, says being comfortable, get to the 14.8, but I'm absolutely fuming at bottom it. Yeah, it's a shame. Turn 1 really cost you indeed. A bit too trigger happy on the throttle, and the back end of the car could not live with it. But the race is still yet to come. Plenty of opportunities. You don't know what the race has in store. But there is your qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Laser, our championship leader, is on pole ahead of Hurricane, and the gap behind 2/10 as well. Ramavaj in P3 ahead of Glock. This one to Glock there, P4 ahead of Bear Remy. Great qualifying from him in the Aston Martin. He's always been a quick driver, Bear Remy. We've seen him try to get a few podiums now and then last season. Just on the verge of getting podiums too, but unfortunately it went wrong in circumstances as Sammy goes into P6. Last week's race winner, great qualified in P7, AJ in P8 ahead of Rogue Smithy, MDJ P10 ahead of Martin, Xenom 12th place, JDM 13th, Samu in P14, Emails in 15th ahead of his teammate Lord Danny Boy, Alex Haug in P17, Shaggy P in 18, Tyker P19, Atlas, who didn't see in qualifying, is in P20. Let's hope it's an enjoyable race. We know safety cars could play a massive factor. We saw in Austria how things could change with the safety car coming out, how the whole trajectory of the race could change with different strategies going on and different people being on different tyres as well. Hopefully be a good race, and I can't wait. Can Laserlord extend his championship lead at the top there? We've got Mackett in second place in the championship, so that result really did help him at the Austrian Grand Prix. He had good points as well back in the Spanish Grand Prix. Can he keep it up here in Hungary? Glock, P3. Dare say should have got more points in Austria, but that's a yellow flag problem. Really did cost him with back markers. Hurricane in 4th place. He disconnected last week, but managed to gain, and I think he finished in P5, I think. Bear Remy, he finished in P4. Bear Remy was actually outside the top 10 majority of the race at the Austrian Grand Prix, but that last safety car really did help him with penalties too, and everything going around him. That brought him back in contention, and he finished in P4. Martin's in 6th place in the championship. MDJ, who's usually in the top 3 of the championship, currently he's 7th. So MDJ, whatever's going on with him, needs to find his form again. We know he's very quick, but what's happened to him this season and last season? What's changed? Is it setup? Is it assists? Is it practice sessions? Who knows? But hopefully he can find his rhythm and be back at the top, where he usually is in most league racing. Should have interviewed him as well. I had the chance. Langfell. Wow, been a long time since I've seen you. My name, ILT Indigo, if you remember me, or JME_Morris02. If you remember me, Langfell. We had a lot of battles back in the past, and your Norwegian boys also had a lot of battles with me in the back in the past. Hazara being one of them. Just put TT times in the Discord. Thank you, Langfell. Appreciate that, mate. But it's very important as well not to have the qualified setups, but the race setup as well to adjust. Race setup is really important. The formation lap is on. Yeah, I think all the leagues have the formation lap is on because I think it's fixed. As Laser was slow to get away from the grid. Hopefully it doesn't repeat the same thing. But here we are with the tyre strategies. I will go on mute for the time being, as you can look for the tyre strategies for yourselves, and hopefully it'll be an interesting race. I remember Overwatch last season. He started on the soft compound tyres. I think he was the one in the Alfa Romeo who, I think, qualified for pole, but his race didn't go his way because he did a 2-stop strategy when it should have been a 1-stop strategy, and it really did cost him towards the end as well. Shame Overwatch is not here because he got signed to FVR with Laser's team. Wherever Overwatch is, he's got great pace, but unfortunately with the wrong strategy calls and the inconsistency too with problems he has on the circuit. And Langfell says hoping for a Laser win. He's currently on pole for the time being. Let's see convert pole into a win. All the drivers are lined up on the grid, ready to race. As we see a mad dash going down into turn 1 there at the lights. 3, 4, 5 lights. And we are away for the Hungarian Grand Prix. A lot of wheel spin for the Harvarders, but looks like Laser's got a decent getaway. You can see Hurricane might be under pressure from Ramavaj as we head down into turn 1. Hurricane in the middle of an Alfa Romeo and Mercedes sandwich. Bit of contact too, as you expect, but he's dropped down into P5 now as expected on the hard compound tyres. Samit's capitalised and he's got himself into P4. So that's really important for the two medium runners to get in second and third. And you can see Hurricane trying to fight back on Samit. We've got more squabbles going on in the midfield here, and it looks like Samit still ahead of Hurricane for the time being. Further down we can see Martin versus Xenom, as we see all contact between Martin, and he almost spun as well, and he drops down the oil even more. But that's not a place where we go side by side, unfortunately, and contact was bound to happen. One of you have to back out as well. We don't really see moves going into turn number 4 unless you're fully alongside and ahead. I think we saw Lewis Hamilton on Yuki Tsunoda one time as well at 2021, when Hamilton was trying to make his way through the field after starting on the intermediate tyres, whereas everybody else went on the mediums or hards, as it was a wet race. I think, no, it was wet at the beginning, then turned dry immediately. But that's the first lap then, as Laser continues to lead. Glock has gone for the alternate strategy now on the medium compound tyres. Same with Ramavaj too. So let's see if the strategy plays into their hands. But more importantly, these two have got to make their way past Laser. They can't afford to hang around and stay behind Laser's dirty air. They've got to go forwards. And there he is, talk about going forwards. Glock makes the move immediately, going down into turn 1. He takes the lead of the race ahead of Laser Lord. But Laser, can he stay in the DRS range, I wonder? More squabbles going on in the midfield here. We've got Rogue Smithy ahead of Mackie as well, with the Williams, the second Williams, fighting alongside Xenom as we head down into turn number 2. Once again, Rogue Smithy gets a bit of a look tap from the Mackie as well in P8 in the Alpine. So they all should settle down now in single file, waiting for the DRS to be enabled, and that's when the moves will be made as well. So all in one big important DRS trade, trying to get as many positions as you can in the first lap, but throughout this stage of the race they'll all be in one big DRS train. And let's see for Glock and Ramavaj, can they pull away? In fact, Ramavaj has to overtake Laser, which is quite difficult for P3 considering Laser's still behind Glock and use him as a DRS as well. So Glock has to pull away on these mini compound tyres. Are they anticipating an early safety car? Mackett there going wide out of turn 11 puts MDJ in a prime position to go down the inside. The wheel to wheel going down into turn 12, and let's see who's a better exit. One's on the mediums and the other's on the hards. Mackett may be struggling for temperature on those hard compound tyres, or grip in general. Rogue Smithy trying to go around the outside, now has the inside line, a bit of contact too for good measure. More shoving and pushing from these two, and there's the second Williams of MDJ capitalising on Mackett's mistake there out the final corner as he puts himself up into P9 then, or maybe just because Mackett's still there on the outside. As we head down into turn number 1, MDJ has the inside line, and also JDM does too, because that's a great move for JDM on the Aston Martin and Xenom as he puts himself up into 11th place then in the McLaren, just outside the top 10. So majority of people went on the hard compound tyres, whereas others, only a few went to the mediums. Nobody on the softs this time, because remember last season I think a few people went to the softs, including Overwatch, and that really did cost him the race, because I don't think there was no safety cars during that race, maybe a virtual, but it was a 2-stop race for him and he couldn't make a deficit towards the end, as it was a long pit lane loss as well for him. It's a 1-stop everywhere you go, but obviously due to circumstances. Oh, Hurricane dropped down the order, spun, and that's an unusual mistake there you see for Hurricane. He's got some blistering pace, but unfortunately he has spun going out of turn number 6, and he's down into 20th place behind his own teammate there, so not looking good for Hurricane. But safety cars might help him. We've seen safety cars change a lot of things in league racing, and Glock is able to pull that 1-second deficit ahead of Laser Lord. Now Ramavaj, he has to capitalise on this. He knows that Laser hasn't got DRS at the back of Glock. He's got DRS, he should be able to make a move on the McLaren driver, pulls the right hand side, and he does so, and he puts his Alfa Romeo into P2. Then now he needs to follow Glock and try and drop Laser out of his own DRS to pull away on those medium compound tyres. JDM on the back of Mackett, he's making some moves through the field, in down the inside into turn 1, the most favourable place to overtake, and he gets that move stick and he puts himself up into 11th place. Looks like Mackett, he started to struggle on those hard compound tyres. I believe he started P7 and now he's dropped down into P10 in 4 laps. Unfortunately lost 3 positions at the start of this race. Let's have a look at the most gained and most lost. So yeah, as you can see for yourself, JDM gained 4. What a great start for JDM. Puts the McLaren driver into P9. Usually his qualifying's good, but race pace needs to be a bit improved. But looking good so far. He's on those medium compound tyres, the slightly faster tyres at this stage of the Grand Prix. In my opinion, starting hard is the best strat. Yeah, I agree, mate. I always agree. As JDM goes off the track there, so he needs to find a way back on it and make sure he doesn't do that more than twice. Otherwise, he'll pick himself up. A 3-second time to see. You can see that Mackett in the background there also had a wobble on going out of turn 11 there. That's a very easy to place as well. You're in dirty air. The following the car behind. Early stage of the Grand Prix. The track is still green. The hard compound tyres too, which doesn't help. But hards to mediums is the best because you can take the hards a long distance, which means you can minimise the distance on the medium compound tyres later on, which means you have the best grip on those medium compound tyres. They won't overheat too much, and you have a feel good tyre there. Starts on mediums is not really good because early stage of the Grand Prix they can overheat a bit as well, and the hards is just the most favourable tyre at the start of a Grand Prix. Take it there's no co-commentator again. I don't really have a co-commentator this season because nobody's opted to step up. Only in this league I don't have a co-commentator, but it's okay. I can do it by myself. Sometimes it can be a bit challenging with everything going on because having a co-commentator is good because you can talk to other people, you can tell them what's going on. Also, they can keep an eye on things that's going on behind you as well. Give them more information what's going on throughout the whole race. And generally you could just speak to them more. But Sammy's dropped off the pace dramatically. He's 3.1 seconds behind of Laserlord now. So the second DRS train is starting to form up with a different group started to develop with the field spread going on lap 5 out of 35 then in this race. But not looking too bad for Laser. As long as he don't drop off dramatically off these two, he should be okay. And obviously be on the medium compound tyres if things go his way in terms of safety cars. If a safety car comes out early, means Glock and Ramavad could go on the medium hard compound tyres later on. Or maybe another set of mediums, you know, because they've still got to use the hard compound tyres, whereas Laser will go from hard, medium, medium. I think during an early stage of the race, like lap 10, let's say, if a safety car comes out, we might see people go from hard, medium, medium as two-stop strategy. As Hurricane is in the pit lane then, and hopefully he doesn't retire from this race. Hopefully it's a brand new set of mediums going on that car and try to do a two-stop strategy. Maybe he's in that DRS train and wants to get out of it, put on a brand new set of mediums. But respect to Hurricane, you know, because I remember the Austrian Grand Prix earlier on this season, he rage quit, even though he was in the top 7. I think it was last season or this year, I can't actually remember, but he's in 20th now, and hopefully he could try and fight his way back through there. Very consistent as Hurricane, I must say, but he has made a few mistakes now and then at the Spanish Grand Prix when we was lost it out of turn 12, when it was the wet conditions too. He has got some mighty pace, but yeah, things can go bad for him just in an instant like that. So Laser is 2 seconds behind now of the race leader of Glock. It is interval. Yeah, I got it right this time. It is interval, so 2 seconds away from Ramavad. These two continue to scrap. But you know what? If I was Ramavad and Glock, I would just follow each other. I wouldn't fight too hard knowing I was on the medium compound tyres because these two have to use these mediums to full effect and just pull away from the rest of the field. That's what they have to do. Is there any penalty for quitting because you don't think you'll get any points? I know a league where if you pit and quit for no reason, you will get penalty points, because I got another league race where I pit and quit because I couldn't be bothered. I was in last place, I didn't know practice, I was struggling all over the place, and I just couldn't be bothered in general, and I got penalty points. But yes, I think there is chance of a maybe. Here he is down the inside. That is Rogue Smithy going for an audacious move down the inside. He goes wheel to wheel out of turn 3, but can't quite make it stick, and he almost got himself into P6. Bear Remy just on for dear life. AJ in the Alpha Tauri done a great job so far. I haven't mentioned him at all, but he had a great qualifying, and he puts that Alpha Tauri P5 currently on the back of Sammy for P4. And Alex Howe gets a 3-second time penalty. If I'm not mistaken, I think AJ is a newcomer, unless he's changed his name, of course. And I'm going to read that comment you said. Still remember back when me and Laserlord were fighting the Germany race. Yeah, I'm a newcomer to SFR. I only joined last season, so I can't actually remember what happened between you and Laserlord. Maybe I should do my research, because that'll help me a lot. But JDM picks up a 3-second time penalty, so used all of his cards there. And you can see Mackett tried to go down the inside, but I think he locked the rear brakes coming up into that corner, and therefore couldn't overtake. And now he could be under pressure from Xena right behind him. So let's see what happens to the top two then. As you can see, they're only one big DRS train as we head on to lap 8 out of 35. There's a Williams. I think he's let his teammate go. Yeah, he is. So Rogue Smithy is playing a team game. He knows that MDJ's on the hard compound tyres. Maybe he thinks he can progress his way up to through the field. Let's have a look. I don't think Ramavaj either in P2 is putting too much pressure on Glock. He's right behind him up his gearbox, but I don't think these two should fight too hard, knowing that the rest of them on the hard compound tyres and therefore could go on the mediums later and hunt them down towards later on in the Grand Prix. That's it if a safety car don't come out, of course. But it's all nice and clean so far. All 20 drivers still remain in this race. At last, who started in last place is up into 15th place. Lord Danny Boy has gained a few positions as well. Samu is doing a decent job in P12 as well. I know he struggled recently in racing too, but doing a good job so far down there in P12. Currently putting pressure on Xenom ahead of him and Mackie for the top 10 spaces. JDM picked up a 3-second time penalty earlier on as well, probably down at turn 11 because that's where I've seen him go off the track in this race. But here we are with the top two then. Ramavaj can overtake Glock if he wants to. He has the EOS in his battery, but is he thinking about the long-term gain? As once again, both Williams have swapped positions. Was that orchestrated or was that a mistake from MDJ? Did he make a mistake at one of those corners? Because you don't really see people swapping places at that particular part of the track. And once again, they're close. Let's have a look to see what Beremi does. Here comes AJ on Samit, and here comes Beremi. Will he take two for one as we go down into turn one? He'll take one of them on. Beremi goes side by side with Sammy. You can see the Alpha Tyre gets a bad exit. You can see, oh, it's a crash! And they're in the wall! And let's see, Sammy's out of the race! Just like that, anything can happen. The safety car has came out too. It all happened when the Alpha Tyre lost traction twice. The back of the car kept stepping out. And a safety car has came out too. Do you know what? I said lap 9 or 10, didn't I? Early on in this race when the safety car comes out. Did I just predict it? I'm not quite sure. Quite good at predicting things, you know, because I said yesterday in the league race I commentated, I said with the safety car coming out in the last few laps of this race, there'll be absolute mayhem between the top three, and guess what, it was. But I think, let's have a think, shall we? Lap 9 out of 35, I think it's good for the medium runners, if you agree with me, to pit on this lap. I don't think it's wise for them to stay out. I think they should pit and get rid of those mediums, put on set of medium tyres or hards. I don't know, because like usually the hard runners might follow into the pit lane too or put on a set of mediums. Yeah, AJ, funny enough, AJ was the one that caused the crash and didn't get taken out or spin. As Mackie gets a drive-through penalty under a safety car, so the top two are in the pit lane. Laser is on the pit lane too, so I think Laser's going from medium. Oh, careful, Laser. You don't want to do what I did to you in Hungary all those years ago back in 2019. So let's see what tyre they go on to. Glock's on the hards. Ramavaj, his pit lane is further down on the hard compound tyres. Laser is on the medium. So those hards, I think they could go towards the end. And here he is, one angry Scotsman in the party. So ladies and gentlemen, Samid has joined the party, the driver that's retired from this race. And Samid, it's a shame, mate. I'm really sorry. And I don't think there's no explanation what happened to you. Two drivers lost the rear end of the car and simply put you in the wall.
Yeah, man, I mean, stuff happens. What can I say? That's just unfortunate. But anyway, I'm just here to enjoy the race now.
Yeah, I bet you were absolutely fuming as well, mate.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, what can I say? Stuff like this happens. I mean, wasn't intentional, so I can't really be mad at anyone.
I've seen that type of scenario happen in the past before. It's so easy to lose out of turn one with a heavy traction zone, a heavy braking zone too. So it's a shame what happened because you were setting up a nice move there, and unfortunately it just got away from you.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you seen it happen. I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, I'm not mad at him, but yeah, wrong place, wrong time.
Would have been absolutely fuming if I was you, but I thought you could be coming in the party swearing and getting angry, but thankfully keeping it professional, so I appreciate that.
Nah, no problem.
So the scenario is now Rogue Smithy has stayed out there, taking track position rather than going on the brand new set of tyres. So two people stayed out there, in fact four. Martin Zenum, AJ and Rogue Smithy have stayed out there. So this could be very interesting, you know, because Laser is 2 places behind who was fighting with Glock and Ramavaj. So are you still in the session, by the way? Can you see the race?
Yeah, I'm still in the session.
Boys, it's a shit, isn't it?
I think it's a good call from the Williams team in general. Keep Rogue Smithy up front. MDJ, I think MDJ can stick with Razor and get past Mountain, Xenon, and then catch straight up to Glock and Ramavas. So I think that's a great call to stay behind, for Rogue Smithy to stay out. Instead of playing the team game, that is.
And Thomas, you were talking about me not having a co-commentator. Well, I've got one right now, and unfortunately in the wrong circumstances where he's retired from a race. But it's nice to have you, Samid.
It's good to be here with my favourite person.
Thank you very much, mate. Wow, well, let's see how the whole trajectory of this race changes then. We've got the top two on the older tyres with Rogue Smithy on the mediums. He has to pit very shortly too on his medium compound tyres, but could he, like you said, could he be helping his teammate? He didn't want to do the double stack either. I believe, though, a few moments ago they swapped positions at turn number 13. I think Rogue Smithy got back ahead of MDJ, so MDJ, considering he's the person behind, actually didn't go in the pit lane. And Rogue Smithy didn't go in the pit lane, so I'm surprised he stayed out there on those older medium compound tyres. We've seen what happened in the past where people have stayed out there on older tyres and they dropped out dramatically.
I think since Hungary is a really hard track to get past, even with the DRS, I think this is a good call to just stay out just in case. There might be another safety car straight away after this one ends, with all the people trying to get past the old tyres, but I think they're honestly playing the team game. MDJ is obviously a very fast driver. He needs to, I guess, stay behind Razor and get past Martin and Xenon. And I think he'll be in a good position. And then I think Rogue Smithy will just let him past if he can get past in front of Ramabaj and Glock.
Safety car is in this lap then as we lead on to lap 11 into 12. But Glock and Ramavach, for their sake, they have to make their way through. And you can see people almost in the back of each other as well going down into turn 12. So Rogue Smithy will lead them away. But Glock and Ramavach will want to get past them as quickly as they can to continue the race for first, second, as Laser is 2 places behind, or 2 cars behind as well. Xenon and Martin's in the way, so Laser will love to get past those two to make sure he can stick with Glock and Ramavach on those medium compound tyres. I think he'll be doing a 2-stop strategy, Laser, on the guys who pitted from hards to mediums. Will be doing a 2-stop strategy. I think Glock and Ramavach tyres could go towards the end, but here we are around the final corner. This could get very spicy. Can Glock get a good restart and try and jump them?
Look at this way, he's not going. He left it very late, okay.
And Martin's just shot through and now he has to give those places back. So Martin there, a bit too much caffeine as we see Glock.
Glock's going to overtake.
Into turn 1 we go. Glock is ahead, but he makes contact with AJ as he gets out the corner then. Glock is ahead of AJ for the time being. Great audacious move, bit of wheel bang in the process too.
He's made a stick now straight behind Rogue Smithy. I think he wants to get past before he hits sector 3. Then he can race. Yep, he's going for it.
Oh look, they're going side by side.
Oh no, he went on the curb.
Yeah, that's a bit optimistic there going on the curb, unfortunately. And
now Ramamaz is in the prime position to get past us, yellows in sector 2. It's all clean now.
And Glock is being swapped by other drivers too. So Ramavaj now into second place. I think Glock should have backed out of that. He should have waited.
He should have backed out.
There was
no. He's being impatient. He needs to keep it calm, not get any damage.
Oh, it's a shame
that was
there.
Close.
It's the second week in a row, and Ramavaj is up the inside, going down into turn 12. He takes the lead of the race, but Rogue Smith is going to fight back. No, he's not. And Laser goes down the inside too. So Laser is up into P3 ahead of AJ. Mackett in P5 there, and let's see if Ramavaj can pull away.
Good place to overtake. Rogue Smith won't have the grip to keep up.
As you can see, Laser there all over the back of Rogue Smithy then as we go side by side as we head down into turn 1. Rogue Smithy's fighting hard, but later the brakes go Laser. He puts himself into P2 ahead of Rogue Smithy for the time being. But now Rogue Smithy behind him is his teammate. He needs to let him past immediately. As we see there as we go down into turn number 2 we go. But Glock, that's a shame for him. He was a bit audacious trying to make an overtake on the curve. There's no way. There is absolutely no way they're going to make it side by side unscathed unless something dramatic happened like that. He rode the curb going into turn number 3, and I think that's a big shot now of losing the Grand Prix. Ramavaj in a good position, but Laser behind him on the medium compound tyres. MDJ is up into P3 ahead of Rogue Smithy. And AJ is also the pressure from JD around behind. AJ is also the one that also stayed out there on those hard compound tyres. But Rogue Smithy and P4's lost 3 positions already. There's a bit of a field spread going on in the field there, but it's a shame for Glock because every chance he gets of taking the lead or trying to score some decent results, something just always happens. Austrian Grand Prix had a legal overtake for I think it was the lap cars who got in his way during the safety car, but it's just a shame there. I really do feel sorry for him sometimes, but sometimes it's self-inflicted. And he needs to reflect on what could have been. Look at this. It's the final corner we go. We've got a yellow flag down there with a Haas spinning out of turn 12. But we've got something going on down into turn 1. Here we are then with the Ferrari Lord Danny Boy up the inside. Into turn 1 we go, almost 3 abreast going there as well. We've got a mortal car battle going on with Simon Pepito going up the inside as we go into turn number 1. Glock versus Beremi as we head down into turn 2. This could get very spicy indeed. We know these two are very quick drivers on their day, especially Glock. And now Harry Kane looking for a way through. The top 3, look at these 3. They're all very quick, but all 3 of them have made mistakes in this race, and that's why they're down into the positions where they are now. Can they make their way through the field? I'm not quite sure, but Laser, it's very important for him to get past Romavaj in the Stage Grand Prix. Like it was the opposite. Oh, Samu there just collected Xenom and unfortunately wipes him out into turn number 6, so we get a bit messy as well in this race. As MDJ, can he try and get himself in the DRS range of Laser Lord? Who knows? I need to settle down a bit now in this race, get a bit hectic during this second part of the race. As we head down into turn 12, JDM has overtaken his former teammate. He's on those hardcore powered tyres. JDM's looking really good too into P4. MDJ sets the fastest lap of this race. And now Laser, can he put the pressure on Ramiraj? Let's have a look to see what he does. He can't afford to hang around at the back of the Alfa Romeo driver knowing he's on the hardcore powered tyres. And more overtaking going on with Rogue Smithy, not done with his old teammate as he gives him a nice shove on the curb. And he puts himself back into P4, so great move considering he's on the older medium compound tyres. JDM should have pulled away from him, but with the DRS helping Rogue Smithy, overtaking him again. Glock and Martin are fighting for P10. We know these two got very close back in the Austrian Grand Prix. Martin fell down the order. Both Mercedes were in high positions at the Austrian Grand Prix, but unfortunately they got taken down the order due to penalties and just penalties in general, to be honest with you. Glock will be absolutely furious, but we know he's got the race pace. He just needs to stay calm, try and collect his head, and with 20 laps to go, anything else could happen during this race. Looking back at it now, thinking about it, I'm going to have a look back to see what happened, because a lot of things went down during the safety car restart. He just rode the curb, didn't he, just going out of turn number 4. And somebody dropping down the order. That's Atlas dropping down the order. He was in a great position as Sam has left the session. He was in a great position. He's beached on the curb, so I think a reset to track is necessary. No, he's reversing, so looks like he's got himself unstuck. But Laser takes the lead of the race. Up into P1 he goes. Can Ravage try and fight back underneath? No, he can't. And Beremi and AJ are fighting too. That's a very important move in this race, as Rogue Smithy and JDM are still fighting. I would have thought JDM would have disposed his old teammate by now, but Rogue Smithy is just holding in there as we continue down into turn 2. Rogue Smithy is switching lanes and he makes contact with his old teammate, forces him out wide, and now will try and sneak through on the inside, on the outside. Now it's turn 2. Great move, but a bit of wheel barging too for good measure. But I'm surprised JDM just can't get past at this stage of the Grand Prix. He's got some good pace considering he's on the older medium compound tyre. He's not really dropping down as I thought he'd be, but still needs to make a pit stop during this race, whereas others might not have to, including the hard runners. They don't have to pit theoretically, depending if they want to or not, but we'll see. Nobody I expect on the soft compound tyres, of course. I don't think Langfeld, there is rain on its way. It looked like it was about to rain in qualifying, wasn't it? But Ramafaj, as long he can stay in DRS range of Laser, try and stay there for the remaining of this race. We know Laser might have to pit again. 21 laps on a set of medium compound tyres. Let's think about this mathematically. So I'm looking at maths here, so Thomas might have to help me out. 18 laps left to go. He's already done 7 laps on his mediums. Can he make it towards the end? Maybe, but the tyres will be hanging off the cliff. So he might have to pit again. Maybe on the soft compound tyres. Here we are then. Rogue Smithy gets absolutely swamped up by 2 drivers. JDM into P4. Beremi into P5. Down the inside goes the Ferrari driver of Lord Danny Boy. AJ gets a bit of a wobble on going out of turn 1. Losing traction as Lord Danny Boy. Great driver, by the way, for Lord Danny Boy. I know he struggled in the last few races, finishing outside the top 10. But here he is in P7 and looking good so far from Ferrari. He's managed to find some pace in that Ferrari too. And Rogue Smithy hanging on for just dear life as Glock overtakes AJ. That's reminiscent of Hamilton on Sonoda on 2021. This time doesn't make contact or goes off the road at turn number 4. He's up into P8 is the Mercedes driver. He's on the hardcore powered tyre, so he can take them towards the end if he wants to. But got a lot of drivers in his way left to clear. It's a DRS train from JDM downwards, so P4 at best for Glock, but as soon as he gets past Glock, or if he does get past JDM, that's if, there's a long way to catch up for the top 3. However, MDJ has managed to get himself inside the DRS range. Hungary is the best, says Toxicality. Yeah, it is quite, you know what, for a track like this, it's quite entertaining, you know. It can be boring sometimes, but safety cars, different strategies can play a factor into it. And here's Beremy on the back of JDM as we approach turn 1. Danny Boy's got past Rogue Smithy, up into P6 he goes. Beremy's up into P4 ahead of JDM, but he's going to try to stick around the outside, but can't quite do so. And the Aston Martin, great drive again. He finished in P4 back at the Austrian Grand Prix and looks on course. But look at this, you can see the timing graphics just absolutely going mental up and down as different drivers get past each other. You know what, I couldn't quite see what happened down there. Was there a bit of contact? Because looks like some drivers fell down the order quite dramatically. But we'll see what happens in his midfield then. Rogue Smithy is starting to feel the effects of the dying medium compound tyres. He has Glock and a brand new set of hard compound tyres right behind him, so it might be a bit of a struggle. It should be an easy overtake for Glock theoretically, being on these hard compound tyres, but got to make sure he doesn't make contact with drivers on old tyres. These two are back together, as Glock, the first time he tried to overtake, wasn't successful, but hopefully for his sake the second time is going to be successful. I don't think Rogue Smithy did nothing wrong, he just stick to his racing line. Obviously he doesn't have to give way, but it looks like he's giving way now to Glock. Yeah, there it is. Ramavaj is about to overtake Laser Lord. Here we are, down into turn 1. And Ramavaj takes the lead of the race, but this is not good news for Laser Lord, because he wants to pull away in these mini compound tyres. He knows that Ramavaj doesn't have to pit again if he doesn't want to, depending if those hards could go towards the end of the Grand Prix. So it looks like Ramavaj has got Laser where he needs to be, in his sights, more importantly. If Laser does decide to pit for a second stop, to go on a brand new set of softs or mediums, try and bring that deficit down, then Ramavaj has to respond immediately, whether he wants to stay out there or not. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how good the tyre life is around here in Hungary. I haven't done a lot of races at the Hungaroring since what, a long time ago. I couldn't even make the softs last with 7 laps to go during a safety car. They were just dead. So, but that was back in 2022. But Lord Danny Boy in this race put on a good show so far for Ferrari. Qualified P15, I want to say. No, P16, yeah, it was P16 for him, but up into P6. What a great drive so far from the Ferrari driver. JDM's gained 8 places, but looks like he started to struggle a bit on those hard compound tyres. And Rogue Smithy and AJ stayed where they started as well. I think Ramavaj's patience as what's earned him to be in P1 so far. He didn't make any rash moves on anybody, just waited for the right opportunity from the more conventional overtaking places like turn 1 and turn 2. Turn 4 is not really a conventional overtaking place as Rogue Smithy has finally pitted. Lord Danny Boy is about to overtake JDM. As we head down into turn 1, JDM was moving all over the place. You can see Lord Danny Boy losing traction out of turn 1, but he has the DRS. He's using the overtake, and we go into turn 2 then. Can he try to stick around the outside? No, he can't, as JDM stays into P5 for the time being. I like turn 1 because it's a heavy traction zone as well, so you can see both drivers desperate to put the throttle on immediately without losing traction or lose the back end. We've already seen that happen with the AlphaTauri of AJ and the Alpine of Simon as well. And I think Beremy got involved in that contact. I think Beremy was the third driver got involved in that contact too. But he's back up into P4. But this is looking very good for Ramavaj so far. Was looking on course to fight with Glock. But his patience as well really helps him throughout this race. Just being patient, overtaking people at the right time, not making any rash moves or decisions. Currently in P1, he's knows on the hard compound tyres. His tyres will be better than Lasers and MDJ very soon. As long as you don't make any mistakes, he should be on course to win this Grand Prix, I think. Because think about it, I don't think when Laser and MDJ pit later on will bring the deficit down. Unless, of course, the safety car comes out as AJ is in the pits to get rid of his hard compound tyres. As we head down into turn 1, Lord Danny Boy for the second time tries to make an overtake. Is it successful this time? As they go wheel to wheel out of turn 1. Look at that, the back of the car stepping out as he tries to fight traction, but can't quite do so. And once again, JDM just stays ahead as Glock just buying his time behind these two. With Hurricane just further behind as well. Remember, he pitted onto lap 4 or 5 in the Grand Prix, and that's why he might be dropping back. Starts to feel the effects of those medium compound tyres started to drop off for the Norwegian driver. After he spun going out of turn number 8, made a pit stop. And he did make another pit stop during that second safety car, that first safety car either, so that's why I started to drop back. Samu, great job in P11, P9 so far, on the hardcore power tyres too. Let's see if he can try and remain inside that top 10. Rose Smithy, interestingly, has put on a brand new set of softs. 14 laps to go. That's going to be a bit of a stretch. I think they can make it, but those softs will be dead for sure towards the end of the Grand Prix. Maybe, well, I did commentate a league race around here at the Hungarian Grand Prix like a week ago or two. No, it was actually a month ago because I just watched it as I tried to do some research around this track. And actually, someone did 14, 15 laps on a set of softs. That was the beginning of the stint as Harry Kane has pitted. But when he did the soft medium challenge, or soft hard, those tyres did drop off towards the end of the Grand Prix. So let's see if those softs on Rogue Smithy start to drop away too at the end of the race. Rogue Smithy has set the fastest lap of the race, but we all know how bad the softs around here is. In fact, any circuit, the soft compound tyre is not really a good race tyre unless, of course, if a safety car does come out later on in the Grand Prix, there's about 7 or 8 laps to go, that's when you want to be in the soft compound tyres. But I don't think being on softs early in the race is good at all. It's always hard mediums unless the safety car comes out, of course. And Finley, or Finn Ward, says, "Hi mate, Finley Ward." I used to go to school with that with a person called Finley Ward. I don't think you're the same person though. As we head on to lap 23 then. Oh, Laser's pitted, so he's caught the shot to go to the pit lane, and he will have about 13 laps to go. And once again he struggles in the pit lane because last time I went to the pit lane he almost spun. And let's see if this is a set of softs. I think it will be for sure. There's no point putting another set of mediums on. Oh, it is another set of mediums. So he's going for that the longevity of those tyres. So let's see if this is the right strategy call or not. I think it is in terms of podium, but for the race win, it might be a bit of a stretch, you know. Let's see the gap to leader, shall we? If I can find it. I've been doing commentary for a long time, so I don't think I still know these controls. And the gap is 20.8 seconds, so a net loss of 20 seconds. 20 seconds in 12 laps? I don't think so, to be honest with you. I think the best he could get is P3. And that's Bear Remy, who's about 8 seconds up the road. Should he have pitted earlier? Oh, Glock there. Going out wide out of turn 4, so that might be a track limit violation for him. So, do you know what? I'm surprised there's not more penalties around this circuit, considering this is a brutal track for penalties and track limits. But what will MDJ do? Will he go to the end on his mediums? It'll be a bit of a stretch though. Or will he consider just staying out there and holding on? Or will the safety car change that? Because somebody spun. Let's have a look who it was. It's the Red Bull of Alex Haug. As Rogue Smithy picks up a 3-second time penalty in this race. I think that's his first penalty. But fortunately for Alex Haug, he has spun. So MDJ, is this a set of softs or the medium compound tyres? Let's have a look. As he enters the pit box now, it looks like the softs, doesn't it? I can't see from this angle. Yes, it is the soft compound tyres. Beremy takes P2, but MDJ's on the soft compound tyres. I think that's okay. But here we are, down to turn 1 with the McLaren and Ferrari. Do you know what? Lord Danny Boy still can't get past JDM. It's about his 4th or 5th time now he's trying to get past that McLaren driver. But somebody spun in the pit lane. I can't really watch because I'm watching these two. Oh, there's a VSC. The VSC has came out. And the undercut has really worked as well because Laser is ahead of MDJ. I think MDJ would love that virtual safety car to come out about 10 seconds early or 20 because he was in the pit lane. I think Ramavad should stay out, you know. He doesn't need to pit. In fact, he can pit if he wants to. But we all know the VSC don't really stay out long, so got to make sure he keeps an eye on his delta, keeps an eye when the VSC does come in. Sometimes the virtual safety car can stay out for a long time. But it depends how big the accident is. Rogue Smithy's in the pit lane again. Was he the one that crashed in the pit lane? I'm not quite sure. There was somebody that crashed in the pit lane for sure. It was either a Williams or an Alpine because they got the similar colours. But Rogue Smithy gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC, and now he spins out of turn 1. For the second consecutive race, it's been another dismal race for Rogue Smithy, unfortunately. And Laser has got past Glock into turn 12. Glock holding in on those hardcore power tyres there, but as you can see, ahead of the train is JDM. He might help his team out, you know. No, I'm not the same. Finley, I don't expect you to be the same person, mate. And here we are then as we head down into turn number 1. I don't think JDM will make it too hard for Laser because Laser's fighting for the potential race win. But here we are, down into turn 1 we go. JDM's in the middle of these three. And let's have a look if they get unscathed. Laser's ahead. You know what? Lord Danny Boy must be absolutely frustrated with that, you know. And here comes Lord Danny Boy around the outside of JDM for the 6th time or something like that because he's stuck behind him. And MDJ gets through on Lord Danny Boy. There's a bit of contact too. And MDJ will capitalise. We already know how's this move gone so far, but here we are, up into turn 4. MDJ's into P4 in turn 4, and Lord Danny Boy's been overtaken by Glock too. It's a shame for Lord Danny Boy because he's been trying to set up moves for the past 4 or 5 laps of JDM, and now he sees people go past him. It's still a good result, you know, because we know Lord Danny Boy struggled a bit in racing, but a top 7 finish is still good. Just needs to make sure he keeps on the track, gets no penalties. And now MDJ is all over the back of Laser Lord. Ramavaj did stay out there. I think that's a wise decision because the VSC did not stay out too long for him to go in the pit lane. So let's have a look at the gap to leader, shall we? Oh, it's 15.8. So he's gaining 5 seconds in 2 or 3 laps. So he needs to keep doing that every single lap. With 10 laps to go, can Ramavaj still maintain the lead of the Grand Prix? Has Laser and MDJ made the right call? I think MDJ's tyres might drop off towards the end, but they're still fighting with Laser. Will MDJ follow Laser? Because if these two fight too hard, they won't bring the gap down towards Ramavaj. So I think these two should follow each other for the time being. Wait to get towards Ramavaj, but I still think it's a bit of a stretch to get towards the Alfa Romeo driver. Ramavaj will be pushing as hard as he can on those hard compound tyres. He knows he's being hunted down. It's like a Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton situation back in 2019 where I think Verstappen did the 1 stop and Hamilton did the 2 stop, and Hamilton hunted him down towards the later end of the Grand Prix and took the victory ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen top pole position for Red Bull, trying to get his 2nd win of the season, I believe, because he won in Austria ahead of Leclerc in 2019, but then he tried to get his 2nd win of the season in Hungary. But the 1 stop and 2 stop strategies, the different strategies, helped Mercedes and therefore managed to get the lead of the Grand Prix. I think Ramavaj will hold the lead, but Laser should get 2nd if nothing goes wrong. And as you can see for yourselves, Laser's caught up to Beremy. I don't think this will be a big challenge. Not obviously no disrespect to Beremy, but due to the tyre difference and pace they've had, Laser should easily get past Beremy due to the tyre difference and tyre advantage he has on that McLaren. He can't afford to get stuck behind, and Glock has overtaken JDM, puts himself up into P5. It's a good race for JDM so far. Although he's got a 3-second tyre penalty, but a good race for him. We know he's not, well, he's been one of those drivers that made mistakes the past few races. He's got a lot of qualifying bans from last season too, but overall I think he's running a decent little race for himself in P6. Oh, Beremy's been overtaken. That's at the chicane, and here comes MDJ around the outside. So Beremy has been swamped, and it looks like Laser Lord and MDJ were not fooling around and wasting any time. Do you know what? I might change my opinion though. Can Laser Lord catch Ramavaj? The gap is 12.7. They've gained 8 seconds in about 3 or 4 laps. It was 20.7 last time I checked. Now it's 12.6. So the hunt is on between Ramavaj and Laser Lord with MDJ in P3. Can Laser push to the maximum and try and get Ramavaj before the race ends? We'll have a look. This is going to be a fascinating race towards the end of the Grand Prix. AJ in P9 putting pressure on Samu. Here it is, the battle for P8 with Harry Kane just behind. And let's have a look, shall we, to see what happens, what goes on at turn 1. Harry Kane, let's have a look from his point of view. Samu goes all the way to the right. Harry Kane's got DRS in the back of the AlphaTauri. They'll go 3 abreast, and Harry Kane almost in the wall there. A bit like Rubens Barrichello and Michael Schumacher, but Samu outbreaks himself. Harry Kane might take both of them on, but gets bad traction coming out of turn 1, and therefore AJ stays ahead of his Norwegian compatriot for the time being. But it looks like a Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello situation back in 2010, when Michael was in the Mercedes and Rubens was in the Williams. And Rubens Barrichello said that should be black flagged for that. It was a brave move from Rubens Barrichello. I think most of us would have clapped ourselves with that move. Ramavaj should be nervous towards the end of this Grand Prix. He's got to make sure he doesn't miss a single braking zone doesn't outbrake himself, doesn't lose traction. He's got to keep the pace 100% all the way to the end. A 10.5 second gap with about 6 laps to go. The hunt is on. Can he try and win this Grand Prix on those old hard compound tyres? Will Laser catch him towards the end of the Grand Prix? He's still got MDJ right behind him. He's derated 2 on the straight. Has got the raw pace to try and stay ahead. This is nervous times, but may the best driver come out on top in terms of being consistent, picking up no penalties. It's also critical that he doesn't pick up a penalty, either of them either. Could be game over if Amavaj picks up a 3-second time penalty. Lord Danny Boy hasn't got past JDM. Do you know what? He's still trying to get past JDM. That's about 7 or 8 times he's done that, but still can't get past him. At least he keeps trying, that's the main thing. I'm so nervous for Ramavach. He's driven a beautiful race so far, kept his head down, but the gap is 9 seconds. I'm absolutely nervous for him. Obviously, I don't mind which driver wins, but I love a good race towards the end. The climax to this race is building up. It's going to be a thriller towards the end. That's if a safety car doesn't come out. Oh, Sam has lost it coming out of turn 4. I would mention him running a decent race, but unfortunately he's dropped outside the top 10. Mackett on those fresher medium compound tyres is in P10. But let's keep a constant look at this. Lap 30 out of 35. There's 5 laps left to go in this race with the gap of 8.2 seconds. It looks like MDJ's been dropped as well. He's 1.1 seconds away. He's starting to feel the effect of those soft compound tyres. You may think I'm crazy, but 6-lap old tyres on the softs can be detrimental as well, because those soft compound tyres do not last long around this circuit. Only 6 laps old, but they're starting to fade away. As Lord Danny Boy, did he get past him this time? Nope. But he outbreaks himself to JDM. Can Danny Boy get a better exit? Does the switchback with the helping hand of the DRS, going wheel to wheel as we head down into turn 2. Can he get past him? He's trying to. No, he can't. JDM still ahead of him for the time being. Danny Boy must be so frustrated seeing that McLaren rear wing. But JDM defending like Alonso back in 2021, keeping Hamilton at bay so Esteban Ocon could win the Grand Prix. Oh, what a thrilling race that was too back in the 2021 Hungarian Grand Prix. The gap is 7.4 seconds now. I think Ramavaj is safe in terms of MDJ, but in terms of Laser Lord's still got a lot of life left in those tyres. Those medium compound tyres are a good tyre to be on. The mid-range medium compound tyres, durable, but it's not as durable as the hard compound tyres. They can last as long as they want. 7.1, 4 laps left to go. I think Ramavaj has this covered, you know. I think he's safe, as long he don't get any penalties. Because let's say if he gets a 3-second time penalty now, that's 3 seconds. Take away 6.9. That's 3.9 seconds, and therefore the Lays will have to gain about a second to get under that 3-second time penalty range. So I hope for Ramavaj's sake he does not get a 3-second time penalty as the 2 Norwegian boys go at it. Oh, bit of contact as well as the Ferrari is around. And this time he's spun, unfortunately, trying to fight with Hurricane and JDM. Oh, Lord Danny Boy was running a really good race, but now he's dropped outside the top 10 and into 12th place. But JDM, a great defender in this race too, putting his car in the right places. I don't think he's doing anything too rash in terms of defending. I think he's just on the absolute limit. But now he's got AJ and Harry Kane right behind him. Might be a bit difficult with those medium compound tyres, because they're fresher, whereas he was fighting with Lord Danny Boy, who was on the same age of tyres, but obviously on the medium compound tyres, which should be starting to fade away for Lord Danny Boy. But for these two, I think it might be an easy pass for Harry Kane and AJ. And Mackett too is into P9, but with 3 laps left to go, the gap is 6.1, so it is mission critical that Ramavaj does not pick up a 3-second time penalty, otherwise it could be over. A slight moment out of turn 2, as you can see, the back of the car just wobbling, but with 3 laps left to go, I think he should be okay. AJ has got past JDM, sorry, and now Harry Kane is up the inside of AJ too. Hurricane spun early in this Grand Prix, demoted him down into 20th place, but now he's back inside the top 10, fighting along with AJ in P6. I had a conversation with AJ too before the race, and Martin's got past Samu, puts himself up into P10. A bit out wide, the both make slight contact, but looks like Martin's got the place. And the Haasman has... Oh, there's a safety car! A safety car has been deployed in the last few laps of this Grand Prix. Wow, what's going to happen now? This could change everything. Could Ramovac do a Mackit and hold these guys behind, like he did at the Austrian Grand Prix? Zeno picks up a drive-through penalty under a safety car, but Ramovac has pitted. Let's see if that's the right call. I don't know, you know. Laser's pitted. Yeah, I think it's the right call. It's the right call. Because let's say if Ramovac pitted and these two stay out, maybe more drivers stay out, it could cost him. But I think Ramovac should be safe now. I don't think Ramovac is in danger, but let's hope he can keep the pace he had, because he's worked so hard in this race to get this victory, or trying to get the victory. But now he needs to keep a calm head, because the gap was 6 seconds, now it's down to 1 second, or very close behind. So Ramovac has got a lot of things, got to make sure he stays ahead of Laser. It's not done yet for Ramovac. It brings Laser back in contention though, because he doesn't have to close that deficit down he had whilst being on the medium compound tyres. So it's helped Laser in my opinion, but Ramovac's got a lot to work with now. He's going to be under huge pressure in this race. But great comeback drive for MDJ, because he struggled in qualifying. I think he started in P11, let's have a look. No, 10, sorry. P10. And he's managed to claw his way back up into P3 with some decent race pace. It's helped MDJ too, but I don't think it would have cost him too much, because he was sort of straight back away from Laser. They're on the same tyres too. Hurricane stayed out there along with Mackit. Beremy was on a brand new set of softs, looking to stay in P4. Glock on a brand new set of softs too. We saw a chaotic race back at the Austrian Grand Prix with the safety car coming out very late in the race. But this time Ramovac is on a brand new set of softs, so he doesn't have to defend on old tyres. Do you know what? It's so difficult to judge what's the right thing to do, because safety cars coming in this lap, so some people don't have a chance to catch up, because there's some people that haven't even caught up to the safety car just yet, or the pack. Tell you what, it's been a phenomenal race, and I'm very excited to see what happens in the last 3 laps of this race. Who will win this Grand Prix? Will it be Ramovac? Will it be Laser? They both deserve it, of course, including MDJ. Anyone deserves it, but you're going to be first to win it, and let's see who is. As we make our way around the final corner, these two need good reactions. And looks like Ramovac has pulled away, so good reaction start for him. But Laser will be all over the back of his tail. He'll be using that EOS to his advantage. Beremy's dropped down to 11th place. What's happened? Did he spin? Oh, yes, I think he did as well. But as we go down into turn 1, Laser's not close enough to make a move. But further behind, Glock is up the inside or around the outside of Mackit. Great move there. And also AJ takes advantage too on those soft compound tyres. Puts AlphaTauri into P6. We're going to see major change in movements in the midfield here with people on newer / old tyres. JDM defending from Martin. These two came into contact back in Las Vegas. And once again he gets tapped behind. But Beremy, unfortunately, I don't know what happened to him. And Martin goes off the track there. He tried to overtake him around the outside. But we'll only see what happened to Glock doing that. But Glock is all... Look at that AJ down the inside of Glock. That's a great move, and looks like Mercedes or Glock has to bounce over the curbs to avoid a contact. But look at AJ, great traction out of there. How do you do that? You don't really see overtaking happening there, especially when the same set of tyres. So did Glock make a mistake, or did AJ get a better exit in general? But AJ's been super fast this race. He's all over the back of Hurricane, and this could be a struggle for Hurricane because he's on those medium compound tyres. He hasn't pitted, so AJ should be able to overtake him there into turn 1. But we're coming up to the last lap of the Grand Prix. Ramovac has got a 5-10 deficit. AJ versus Hurricane. Hurricane's made a mistake out of the last corner, but I don't think Laser is close enough to make a move, is he? No, he's not. That's his last chance of winning the Grand Prix, I think. Ramovac has him covered as Hurricane fighting with Glock as breaks himself and pushes Glock off the circuit then, so a bit of a personal contact between those two. But here he is, Glock once again, make contact once again, and Hurricane spun, and that pretty much sums up his race, unfortunately. I don't know why that had to happen, because there was probably no need for that, but oh well. Usually Glock and Hurricane are really good racers, and the sportsmanship is there between those two. Wants to come back from Hurricane, but it's been it's been dropped down into where is he now? P12. But Ramovaj, in his last sector, very important not to pick up a 3-second time penalty. He might be going for the fastest lap of the race, you know. 2 tenths up in the middle sector. Who has the fastest lap? I'm going to have a look before it ends. It is Ramovaj. Yeah, he has the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So can he beat that his own time with a 16.4? But here he is, around the final corner. Ramovaj, what a beautiful driven race. He comes across the line to set the fastest lap and win the Grand Prix 2. What a race from Ramovaj. Fully deserved Grand Prix 2 as well. Was under pressure towards the end of the Grand Prix, but kept his head, kept it cool, and beats Laser towards the line. Laser in P2. MDJ, good comeback drive in P3. AJ, what a strong performance for him in P4. Glock, great comeback drive for P5. I dare say should have been higher up, but Bishan ahead of Amesian there, I dare say, like Martin Budwood said. Jaden in P7, Martin in P8, and Samu P6. What a great drive for him too in the Alfa Romeo. This is good points for Alfa Romeo, and this is the highest I've seen him finish in SFR. So great drive for him indeed. Fully enjoyed this race. What a thrill of a race too. I hope you all in the chat enjoyed the race too, because I did. I'll explain later what happened, because obviously you noticed that nobody else is talking in the party, so I'll explain later what happened due to that. If you want to hear from the drivers, stay tuned. We've got Ramovaj, Laser Lord, and MDJ joining the party. I'll give them a tag now, and let's hear from the drivers momentarily. I'm fully happy with Ramovaj. He thoroughly deserves the win. We know he's got a good race pace. He finished P7 last season at the Hungarian Grand Prix. He goes 6 places better and to the top of the step. Congratulations, mate. Fully deserved. He finished P3 at the Austrian Grand Prix too. 2 podiums in a row. It looks like he's on a charge so far. Could he also be very interested in the championship too? At the Hungarian Grand Prix too. So he's won at his home Grand Prix. Fantastic. Not quite a Grand Slam finish because he didn't take pole position, but I don't think he'll give a damn about it. There is your race results too. Laser is in the party. We await for the other two, Ramovaj and Laser MDJ. Here's MDJ. We're just awaiting for our race winner. Do you know what? We'll start from P3 upwards. So MDJ, you here, mate? Mikey, MDJ? Good evening, mate. Mikey, you here? MDJ?
Yeah.
There you are, finally. So, a disappointing qualifying for you, starting down in P10, but what was it in qualifying? Did you just struggle with the track overall? And I did see you crash out of turn number 8 or 9, that middle sector, that twisty middle sector, so it was really a disappointing qualifying for you. But did you think with that disappointing qualifying, it might be a bad race for you?
I mean, in the last few races, I didn't have a great qualifying and didn't have great pace in the race as well. I had bad luck, and then with this race, I thought I was not gonna get higher than P8 or P7, but that changed because of a lot of crashes in front, which made me go to P3, seeing Laser once for once in a long time again. So my eyes were set on Laser, trying to get in front of him. I really did not bother Ramovaj whatsoever. For me, from last season, Laser is the main rival, so I will try to get in front of him and then see what we can get at the end of the season.
Yeah, your pace is back, and I know the Spanish Grand Prix you're really struggling too, and in Austria, but here you are back on the podium as well. And I think the first safety car really helped you because the top three were just minding their own business pulling away. So when that first safety car came out, it really bunched everybody together because I think from P4 downwards, from Samid downwards, they're all in that one big DRS train, and you really couldn't get your way through. But I think that first safety car really did help you, do you think?
Yeah, it kind of did. I was able to get on fresh tires, and some guys around me were on old tires, old hards, old mediums, and they were much slower. So I was able to get in front of them pretty quickly. And then some cars ahead of me spun and crashed because they were bunched up. So it all helped in my favor.
And you and your teammate, were you working together in that party too? Because Rogue Smith, your teammate, stayed out there, and you opted to go in the pit lane, which was the right call in my opinion. So were you in a party with your own teammate?
Yes, we were, and there were some great calls, but there were also some not so great calls as going to the soft tires when Laser was on the mediums. That was a mistake. I actually wanted to go to the mediums, but I was told the soft tires were the way to go, but that was not the case.
I know some people are really great at extending their tire life. So when Laser pitted, so that was always the that was always a strategy for you in the head to just follow what he does and go in the pit lane, or did you have a mind to just stay with Ramavaj and see what happens?
My mind was before Laser pitted, I was thinking about pitting and making an undercut, but I waited another lap. Then seeing Laser go into the pits, I was kind of forced to go as well because I didn't want it to fall into Laser's hands if it did work. So I tried to go on the same strategy, not knowing which tire he was on. I tried to ask my teammate. He said the soft tires were the way to go, and I chose the softs. So
Yeah, and also the soft compound tires, were they started to drop away before that safety car came out? The last safety car?
oh, they were gone a long time ago, like 3-4 laps into the laps I did. They were already gone. They felt horrible. It was a miracle that I stayed with Laser for that long.
Are you surprised about your pace today as well, considering your qualifying position?
Yeah, I'm happy with the pace. I'm happy that I was able to stay with Ramavaj and Laser at the end.
Nice one, mate. Congrats on P3 as well. And also, when that last safety car came out, what was going through your mind?
I was pretty happy as I was losing the DRS of Laser and thinking I would have a shot at the restart, but I was wrong again. And Laser and Ramavaj was just too quick around the corners, so I couldn't do any attacks on the straights.
And next race is in Belgium, and how are you feeling for that?
Oh, Belgium, lovely. I'm expecting to be somewhere in the top 3 again.
Well, we'll see how it goes. But today, congrats to the podium, mate. Nice recovery drive after starting at P10, and also the last 2 races didn't go your way whatsoever. So nice confidence booster as well. Be back at the podium and take it step by step out there. And we move on to Laser Lord. So Laser, what would you prefer? Would you prefer not the safety car to come out because you were gaining down rapidly? But did you think towards the last few laps of the Grand Prix that you'll take the lead?
Honestly, no. I thought the gap was just slightly too big to Ramavaj in the end. I thought if the first safety car didn't come out, I might have had a chance. But again, I think Ramavaj had just a little better pace today. But by the time the second one came out, I don't think I'd have caught him back up, even if the third safety car didn't come out, to be honest. So, no.
Because you went from hards to mediums, didn't you? So I think you're always going to do the two-stop strategy where Ramavaj helps him from going from mediums to hard. So he did the one stop. So that first safety car did. Well, I don't think he compromised you, but I don't know. In terms of strategy, anything could happen, really.
I mean, when the first safety car came out, I was quite annoyed because it did compromise me at the time. But honestly, I think if it didn't come out, I might have ended up P2 anyway. I think Ramavaj just had slightly more pace, but I don't know. I think it would have been quite close at the end. So. Yeah.
Do you think? Oh, sorry. Do you think what compromised you is when the safety car came in, the first one, you were stuck behind Ramovac or stuck in the DRS of him because you really wanted to pull away in those mediums, didn't you? But you just couldn't build up a gap as he was able to stay in your DRS on those hards.
Yeah. To be honest, mate, no. 'Cause I think Ramvaj was actually at least on my pace at that point, if not a bit faster. So, yeah, it didn't really compromise me. It only compromised me when I got stuck behind other traffic, but I cleared them quite quick. So, yeah.
And the first stint as well, I think you started on the hard part tyres, didn't you? The first stint.
Yeah.
Yeah, were you surprised? Well, I don't think you were surprised by Glock and Ramovac pulling away. Were you just trying to stay in their DRS, make sure they don't build up too much of a gap to get ahead?
I was quite confident in the first stint, to be honest. If it was a non-safety car race, I could have won, but I don't know if I would have in the end. But if I felt when they had 2.5 seconds, I would have mediums and they would have hards for the last stint. I do think Ramvaj was slightly quicker than Glock though, so yeah, I'm not sure.
You were forced to do that two-stop strategy, so yeah, it worked in Ramovac's favour, but you tried to bring the gap down. But when that safety car came out, the last safety car, I bet your nerves were, well, all over the place, weren't you?
Yeah, sort of. I was worried about MDJ. When I saw Harry stay out and Mack it relieved it a bit. 'Cause I knew even if I lost the place to MDJ, third was realistically lowest I was going to drop because I had 2 medium runners behind. What almost did make me shit my pants though was in the last sector, I almost binned it. I think MDJ saw.
You got bad memories going to the Hungarian pit lane, don't you? You almost spun there twice.
Yeah.
And
No, it wasn't in the pit lane. Oh yeah, I did almost spin in the pit lane as well. I forgot about that one.
And 4 years ago too. Or
Oh yeah,
5.
but I was with you, mate.
In qualifying. I'll always remember that no matter what.
That was a class one, man.
But anyway, how do you feel for the Belgian Grand Prix?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the track. I think it's quite a nice track. There's a lot of DRS trains, unfortunately, but that's the game. But I feel relatively confident. I'm aiming for podium again, win maybe. We'll have to see.
You're extending your championship lead, but MDJ on the rise again. Are you nervous about MDJ or any other driver?
Well, I'm not really nervous yet. It's a bit early for me to be thinking about the championship. Like, it's anyone's game at the moment. We'll have to see. It's only been three rounds. I'm very happy with my start though. But yeah.
Well, thank you, mate. Congrats on P2. That was a great race between you and Ramovac, just hunting each other down, and eventually Ramovac came out on top. So congrats on P2.
Cheers.
And we move on to our race leader, Ramovac. You must be absolutely thrilled with that. I bet your heart was pounding at the second phase of that Grand Prix when Laser Lord and MDJ were hunting you down on their fresher tyres. Yeah, you must be happy as well. And I think, do you think that the first stage car really helped you because you're able to go from mediums to hards and do the one stop from there, where the other drivers had to do a 2-stop from hard, medium, medium? Oh, mad. Oof. The first safety car I think benefited you, but when Laser Law pitted onto lap 22, were you ever nervous about him catching you towards the end of the Grand Prix? Ramovac, we can't hear you, mate, unfortunately. It's okay. Thank you for telling me fast laps. Hold on a second. Did you put your voice to share? Hold on a second. Speak now, Ramovac. Speak now, Ramovac. I still can't hear you, mate. Sorry.
Just put your voice and share on the settings.
Go to your PlayStation. Go to the party menu. Go to the party settings. scroll down and find voice allows to be shared. Oh yeah, the background noise you heard too, that's the wind, so apologies about that. Didn't realise how windy it was out there.
So can you do it, or can you not do it? Okay,
So what Ramavad said was he was shitting his pants when Laser Lord pitted and thought he could overtake him. No, I'm kidding, he didn't say that. So for the streamers, lap 22 when Laser pitted, he was initially worried when he pitted, but then he realised the gap was too big to close down and therefore wasn't going to be able to catch him towards the end of the Grand Prix. He thinks it was the right call to pit onto lap 10s from hards to mediums, because that was always the mediums to hard side, because that was always going to be the strategy. But he was thinking about doing mediums to softs. In my opinion, that would have been too much of a stretch, because your teammate did that Overwatch last season in Hungary and it didn't work out for him. But yeah, that summarises his race, and he's really happy as well, and he thinks he could challenge for the championship fight for the next few races. And what else you got to say about Vaj? Because I'll repeat what you say. Any more you want to add on to? He's here to challenge these guys. And when you pitted onto when the last safety car came out, were you nervous about Laser at all in the race? He was nervous about Laser. And how do you feel for the next race in Belgium? Did you take pole in Belgium? So he says he don't feel great for Belgium as he did spin there. I think it was the bus stop chicane, I'm not mistaken. Was it the bus? I remember that for some reason, I don't know why. He says it was a weird spin and it took him out of contention of winning the Grand Prix. So thank you so much, Rabavaj. Congrats to the win, mate, and you fully deserve this. He says thank you very much. Right, we'll end it off there then. And top three, Ramavaj, MDJ and Laser Lord, that's your top three. We move on to Belgium for the next race of the season, next weekend, or next week, sorry, at 7:30 on Tuesday. Jordan's there. It's been a great race here in Hungary.